Okay, so this is quiz B, problem 3, part B. This problem is we're supposed to solve this one. The first simplifying step that I would always use would be to change all subtraction. Here's subtraction and here's subtraction. Change them to adding the opposite. So instead of subtracting 5x, I'm going to change this to adding negative 5x. And instead of subtracting 9, I'm going to change it to adding negative 9. That is, I think, a really important thing because it allows you to move numbers around and not get confused about whether you're adding or subtracting things. It just becomes a little more clear. So then you have combining like terms. There's no distributive property to do. So my next move is going to be to combine like terms. So I am going to, on the left side, I see that I have 5x and I am adding that to, I have 6x and I am adding that to negative 5x, which is equal to 1x. And then I have an 8 plus a 7. And when I add those together, I would get 15. So this side would be 1x plus 15. And the other side, I can't combine any like terms, so I am just going to keep that the way it was and keep it as 7x plus negative 9. Now, moving forward, my next simplifying step would be to remove balance sets now that I'm done combining like terms. So I need to remove x from one side and 1's from the other. I'm going to go ahead and take away this 1x. So I'm going to do minus 1x from the left. And then to even that out, I'm going to do minus 1x from the right. I subtracted this 1x because I wanted to make a 0. And it was being added. So 15 plus 1x minus 1x is just going to give me 15. This part will remain a 0. 1x minus 1x is 0. I'm not going to write it. I just know that it's 0, so I don't have to write it. And then 7x minus 1x is 6x. But I also still have this plus negative 9. Okay, so the next step is to get rid of, I got rid of all of my x's on the left, so now I want to get rid of numbers on the right, keep my x's over here and get rid of the numbers. So I'm going to get rid of this negative 9. I would add a balance set. I'm going to add 9. Then I'm going to add 9 to the other side as well to keep the teeter-totter even. 15 plus 9 is 24. And then on the other side, I don't have any 1's left over. I just have 6 x's. But I do still have this number 6. I need to get rid of this number 6. So I have 6x equals 24. If I want to get rid of that 6 on the 6x, 6x means 6 times x. So in order to get rid of that 6, I need to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing by 6. 6x divided by 6 is going to equal 1x. That's what we want. And then because I divided this entire side by 6, now I have to divide this entire side by 6. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. And so that should be your answer, x equals 4. All right, that is one of the slightly more complicated problems, but that is how we simplify and solve that problem for 3B. You may have done things in a different order, and that is just fine. You probably still should have come up with 4 equals x. Students that made mistakes did not do keep, change correctly, or they didn't do their math quite right and said things like 7 minus 1x is equal to 8x or something like that. Or some people said they didn't do this math right and said things like 15 minus 9 equals 6 instead of 15 plus 9 equals 24. People got confused about things like that. Or they didn't combine their like terms correctly. Some students said 6x plus negative 5x equals 11x or negative 11x. They were adding instead of subtracting. Or they said 8 plus 7 is 1, and they were subtracting instead of adding. Saw a lot of that stuff. Just got to be careful.